on the wall, who is the fairest of us all? Me, me, me. I love me. I'm the best person in the world. She is absolutely,
wait for it,
beyond a joke. But I would have thought that any chance a right oik had, oh, sorry, American Riviera Orchard, had
I
to
like
succeed.
that.
Thank you. Has just been buried.
Yeah.
It's so I think maybe Harry helped to scratch up the earth and bury that bit of matter
Stop it.
underneath another banyan tree. Meow, says I. But she is not capable of running a company of
Stop it.
that. I think, Dan, if I can just very briefly explain, some years ago, Arnold Scarsi suggested that I do a jewelry line for,
wait for it,
the shopping channel. And I looked into it and spoke to the head of the, what's it called, the shopping network thing. I can't remember what it's called now. But you have to have, for every product,
okay, I'm listening, you have my attention,
that you are making available for sale, you have to have in the warehouse several hundred dozen ready and waiting in case it's a success. And if it's not a success, you stand the hit, because you have to then somehow get rid of that stock. Meghan has these big, bright ideas.
Are you serious?
And doesn't understand what is involved. And also, who's going to be really promoting it? Who's going to be really helping her? You know, she'd like us to believe that,
wait for it,
Netflix is going to be behind it, yeah. And pigs fly.
Well, yeah. Why on earth do they want to get behind a product? Lady C, just had to show you these great photos.
Okay.
Of Meghan at the Paley Centre. Literally, look at the PR right to the left, and she's just like, get off. According to Taz, put these together, and that's why I just wanted to show you them. Then there's, look,
What the hell?
the other one on the other side saying, Meghan, please just get off. Give Tyler Perry his moment, for God's sake. And then you see she's sort of dashing away, finally gets the message, but not
wait for it,
there because she ain't happy. And I just thought, goodness me, those pictures summed up how not to do royalty or a regal approach. And I wanted to contrast it, Lady C, with
here it comes,
King Charles, who had a delightful moment this week with a group of American tourists who happened to be in London and just had quite an astonishing encounter with the cancer-stricken King of England. It really is heartwarming. Let's have a little watch.
You're trying to go somewhere else today, are you?
Okay.
You're not getting too wet, I hope.
We're not. It's okay.
Are you all living right here? Texas. I don't believe it. So, are you having an enjoyable time in London?
Now we are.
Anyway, I do hope you make the most of it.
Thank you.
Have a very happy Christmas.
Thank you so
Merry Christmas.
I mean, Lady C, the contrast couldn't be any clearer. Isn't that how you do royalty?
Well, you know, Dan, the King and William are very gracious.
Are you serious?
Royalty is supposed to be gracious. Harry used to be gracious, but Meghan is graceless, and Harry has learned to be graceless as a result of her influence.
Stop it.
I used to know Bill Paley, after whom the Paley Centre is named. He was Mr. Television in the 50s and 60s and 70s. and his wife, Babe, was one of Capote's swans. They had a house in Jamaica. And I mean, he must be spinning in his grave to see, because he was a man of great taste and discernment, and so was she, Babe. And he must be spinning in his grave to see that a centre that's named after him has such tacky conduct taking place on his
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
stage. I mean, you practically have to shoot Meghan to get her off the stage. It's beyond.
I know, it's like, just get off. Just get off. Oh, goodness me.
Okay.
Oh, Lady C, what a week of it we've had. What a week of it we've had. Your channel on YouTube is going to be absolutely must watch over the next few days.
Are you serious?
Cannot wait. And you know I love having you on Outspoken.
Thank you, darling. It's always wonderful to be on with you.
Thank you, Lady C. Speak soon.
But first, a new bombshell poll published today shows that nearly half of the King's realms would vote to become republics if they had the chance. Caribbean countries cite colonial ties as a reason for wanting to part with the monarchy. And pretty disturbingly for King Charles, 10 of the 14 countries polled
So that was a f***ing lie.
say they back the Sussexes, saying Meghan's treatment exposes racist views. It's ignited debate about whether King Charles should apologise for Britain's past sins, maybe even pay reparations. Would that make any difference? Or would it just fuel the fire of republicanism? Well, here with me now to debate this, the former royal butler to Princess Diana, Paul Burrell, the activist and organiser of Black Lives Matter protests, Iman Aiden, and the historian and royal author, Dr. Tessa Dunlop. Well, this will be a quiet debate, won't it? Well, you brought your earplugs, Paul.
I won't get a look in.
Paul, let me start
Yes.
with you. I've got a problem with this constant looking back in history, feeling guilty for stuff that none of us in this era actually did, and then having to say sorry for everything that we didn't do, and even now, apparently having to pay people today for stuff that happened
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
to their ancestors many generations before. I don't really get what that achieves.
We should learn from lessons of the past. We can't change anything, and we should move forward. But the Queen's greatest achievement,
Wait for it.
his mother's greatest achievement, was the Commonwealth of Countries. She was very proud of that. I think if you could beam her down now, she would say, my Commonwealth. That should survive intact into the King's reign. So he should do whatever he can. Now, bear in mind, I've known this man for a very long time.
Yeah.
He has a voice, and he will say what he
But
feels.
here's the real problem he's got. There's another voice yapping away
Yes.
about racism. Two voices. His son, Harry,
Yes.
and Harry's wife, Meghan, who for 3 years have branded the royal family a bunch of callous racists. That is now turning up in these
Yes.
polls because, understandably, frankly,
Yes.
black people in the Commonwealth around the world are going, whoa, really? They're racist, these people, and yet they haven't produced a shred of evidence for any of it.
You and I know the royal family are not racist, and you and I know that they pressed the racist button on the Oprah Winfrey show.
Yeah.
And they never apologised to the Queen.
Never.
She went to her grave thinking there was a racist in the royal family.
And after she died,
actually,
they said...
What happened?
We never
didn't say that. The press said
We
that.
didn't mean to say it was racism.
Why
All right.
didn't you correct it, Harry? Why didn't you tell your
Well, we know
gran
why.
before
Because it made them, they weaponized racism and mental health to make themselves extremely rich.
I totally...
All right, Iman, this is my problem. This has always been my problem with this racism narrative that these two have spun without any evidence, is that people
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
around the world, particularly people of colour, they believe it. And why wouldn't they believe it? They're hearing the first person who wasn't a white royal bride say they're racist, these people. So then the damage is palpable.
Stop it.
It's tangible. And it will lead, I think, if we're not careful, to a load of these countries becoming republics and the beginning of the end of the monarchy.
Thank you for your soliloquy.
So thank you.
All right, no problem. So first and foremost,
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
My feelings on the royal family and racism are not predicated on Harry and Meghan's willingness to identify it. That's the difference between me and you. We are talking about a country that was built off of racism, and we are referring to the oldest institution in this country that started it all. So that's the first thing. In terms of why black people and many others feel the way that we do, well, the monarchy is a symbol of white supremacy. Okay? White supremacy. That is the reason. Let me just
Why
finish.
does it make any difference if King Charles says sorry, or why does it make if he pays money? What difference does that make?
Okay. So reparations...
How does that combat racism?
No, it actually does. So let me
The guy hasn't got a
Let me
racist bone in his body. He's done more for racism than any public figure in the country. Why should he be paying for the sins of people hundreds of years ago?
Okay, so can I finish?
Yes.
Thank you very much. So, the monarchy is a symbol of white supremacy, which is what black people have had to contend with for the last 400 years, notwithstanding the fact that Elizabeth or every king and queen from Elizabeth I.
You think the last late queen was a model of white supremacy?
Let me finish my point. You just asked me several questions. Let me finish my point.
Well, answer the question,
Right,
then.
I'm getting there, so just finish.
Well, hurry
Let me
up.
just finish, okay?
Hurry up.
So, every king and queen from Elizabeth I to William IV has supported and profited off of slavery. So this is about the fact that this country was built off of racism, and that's the
country
point. Wait,
also
hold on a
led...
second. This country...
Wait for it.
Keep talking.
No, because I haven't even finished my point.
You
Piers.
can't just
keep
make
interrupting.
outlandish
You
statements
keep
about our royal family and not
interrupting.
expect me to jump in.
Piers, you keep interrupting. Can I finish my point?
This country also led the world out of slavery.
Okay, so can I finish my point?
A
Is that
long
right?
time ago.
Okay.
Can I finish my point, please?
Yes.
Perfect.
But
So,
please finish it.
I will, no problem, just be patient. So, every single king and queen from Elizabeth I to William IV over a 270-year
You've just
period
said this.
supported the enslavement of Africans and profited as a result. So it
Yeah.
doesn't, it doesn't
And
take
this
any
country-
genius, hold on a second, it doesn't take a genius to figure out that this country was built off of racism and it stems from white supremacy, all of which is directly attributed to the crown, slavery and colonialism. To answer
you
your
now-
point, let me finish
You can't
my
just
point.
keep talking.
Piers, you keep interrupting.
Answer my question.
Let's have a conversation.
Answer my question.
Let's have a
We need
conversation. You spoke
mediation
about
here,
slavery.
guys.
You spoke about slavery. Let me answer the point.
I asked you a specific question.
I want to
Why
answer
should
the point.
King Charles
So let me answer the
be
point.
either apologising
answer the point.
for what happened centuries ago
Okay.
Okay.
or paying money for it?
Okay, so what you're talking about is slavery. I'm not talking about slavery. Slavery can be traced back to Europe. The Greek slave trade, to be specific, in 400 BC, then the Roman Empire, and then we get to the Muslim conquest of 7th century.
And
Vikings,
black
late
people
18th
had
century.
slaves
So what
too,
we're talking about,
right?
exactly. So I'm not talking about
Slavery
Piers.
comes in
I
many
am not
forms.
talking about
There is a lot of slavery around
Piers,
today.
So I'll tell you what I'm talking about. I'm talking about colonialism, neo-colonialism, racism, racial
Yeah.
disparities, and the racist system of oppression and exploitation of black people and white supremacist attributes, which have been rebanded under the
What's
guise
that got to do with
I'm
King
talking about.
Charles?
I am telling you why he needs to apologise and pay reparations.
What did he
It's not
do?
anything to do with slavery.
What
Slavery is
did
an
he
element.
do?
I'm telling you, colonialism, neo-colonialism,
He didn't
racism,
do that.
racial disparities and a racist system of white supremacist attributes. That is the legacies of the crown, slavery and colonialism that still remains.
I
to this day.
understand.
Let me finally get my point across. Lord, you
You've
need
got
to
your
let me
point
finish.
across, but here's my point, my counterpoint to you. What's any of that got to do with King Charles?
Okay, so I'll
who
explain.
actually has been, I think, one of
Wait for it.
the great standard bearers in royal history for actually promoting racial equality and tackling racial
Okay,
injustice.
so let me
Yet you
explain.
want him to be issuing grovelling apologies for people hundreds of years ago,
So let me-
and you want